Hi, I'm Neil, and today we'll be drawing one of our characters from our Marshmallow Martian series called Fuzz, and she's a cat, very cute cat made of marshmallows, and she'll be seen a lot in Museum Sleepover. So let's draw her from shapes, just like we've done with a lot of the other characters. So Santa Claus, we just did a dinosaur one, a T-Rex. So let's draw Fuzz. So Fuzz's head is really just a big oval. So we'll start there. And then I'm going to draw this guideline down the middle, which will help me quite a bit. And one across the center. I put that a little low, so I'm just going to raise it up a little bit. And the reason this is so important is because, especially when you're drawing a character from the front view, you need to make sure the eyes stay centered on the head, unless you just want to draw them off center, which is great. But for this character, I definitely want them centered. And with Fuzz, her eyes actually meet right in the middle of her head. So that's why it's extra important that I do it like this. So there's one eye. And here's the other one. And I can see that... Oh, I actually made that one eye too narrow. Something more like this. I'm just going to adjust it just a smidge here. There we go. And then I'll draw the nose, which is just another oval right underneath where the eyes join together. And then I'll draw the pupils, which are just two more ovals. The Marshmallow Martian's characters to have lots of ovals and round shapes. So there we go. I'm just going to move this one over just a little bit. There we go. And then for the ears, I'm going to draw them as triangles for now, but we'll definitely be rounding them out later when we clean up the drawing. So there's my two ears. And then I'm just going to adjust the bottom of the shape just a little bit of the head here, just because it's looking a little too rounded. I'm just going to squish it a bit. There we go. So now I'll draw the body, which is kind of a box shape, and you don't see too much of the body from the front view. So I'm just going to draw something like this, like that. And then I'll draw the tail, and because Fuzz is floating, and I'm just going to draw a little shadow under her so you can see she's floating, we can actually have the tail come underneath the body like this. So it's just kind of a round tube shape. And then we have to add the antenna, and those are just two very loose curves like this, and then they have circles on top. Just like that. And right now I'm drawing very loose and messy, and I'll definitely be cleaning it up soon. And I guess soon is now, because I think we've done all we can with shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this a little fainter, and then I will draw over top of it and start adding in detail. So let's just draw the stuff that we already know and like the shapes of. So the nose, we can keep it just the way it is. The eyes, we're going to keep that shape. Whoops. There's the other one. Just going to adjust it a bit. There we go. Now the pupils. Let's draw the eye highlights here. So just two ovals in the top corners. And then we'll draw a little smiley mouth, like that. And then, before I forget, I'm going to draw the eyelashes, because I am notorious for forgetting those. So just 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then, before I forget, let's also round out the ears. So they're very round, like that. Oops, sorry, like that, like that. And then we'll draw the top of the head. And then I'll sketch in the face, or the sides of the head, a little bit more. I don't usually draw Fuzz directly from the front like this, so it's good practice for me. She's usually on a slight angle. Now I'll round out the bottom of the body. And the tail. And then we'll draw those antennae. And I'm just adjusting them a bit because I can see that I drew them slightly different shapes from each other. For this character, I like the antenna to be pretty much the same, just going off in different directions. And I'll just darken these lines a little bit more. And then with Fuzz, she has stripes on the side of her head, and I don't know if you'd actually be able to see them from the front, but I think we actually need to show them a little bit, or else it doesn't really look like her. So they're just these rounded kind of triangle shapes, and there's just two on each side, like that. And then I'll just draw a little oval for that shadow, which I'll color in a sec. I'll just turn off the base drawing. And there we go. There's Fuzz from the front using shapes. Here's one little trick I'll show, and you can do this with your piece of paper. If you flip it over, you can usually see your drawing even though your paper's flipped over. And sometimes when you flip your page, you can see things that you should be thinking about changing. So when I flip this, I immediately see that this eye, this pupil, is actually too low. And sometimes just looking at your drawing from a different view can help you spot things that are wrong. And I actually am just noticing that this eye is quite a bit bigger than the other one. So I'm just going to squish it a little bit, like that, and like this. And I'm just going to clean up this little bit of a mess I made doing that. I actually should have done this when I was doing my sketch. That's when you should really do it's called the flip test. And then I'm going to move these antennae over a little bit because they're not in the center of the head. Now flip it back to the way it was. There we go. It's just interesting how your brain works and how sometimes you can draw something and it looks okay, and then as soon as you flip it, you immediately spot these mistakes that you made or things that you really feel like you should adjust. Like that eye thing, I didn't see that before, how the one eye was a decent amount bigger than the other one. Alright, so now what I'll do is I'll color Fuzz. I'll color her using the normal Fuzz colors that I use for the Marshmallow Martian books, but please color your Fuzz however you'd like, and we'll see you soon. There's Fuzz all cleaned up and colored up. I think she's really cute. I hope yours turned out great, and we'll see you next time.